Sacred Space.
So welcome back again to the second part of Sacred Space. My name is John Keeley, still joined by Lorraine, Kathleen and Mariah here in studio, and Shiny is with us still on the other end of the Skype This week, as we thought we'd do, we'd have a chat with a few of the parishioners here from Newcastle West who had arranged something next weekend, actually, at the 6:30 Mass, I believe it's in Newcastle West, around the theme of family. The reason why this, because of course it's rolled around World Meeting of Families. Just remind us again all about the World Meeting of Families. Lorraine, give us a brief little outline of...
Just a very quick synopsis for anybody who doesn't know what the World Meeting of Families is. Of course, Dublin, Ireland has been chosen by Pope Francis to host the next World Meeting of Families, which takes place from the 21st to the 26th of August. And it's guided by the theme, the Gospel of the Family, Joy for the World. This is a major international event which brings together families from across the world to celebrate, pray and reflect upon the central importance of marriage and the family as the cornerstone of our lives, of society and of the Church. There's a couple of key moments just to remind our listeners. On the 21st of August, there will be the national opening of the World Meeting of Families. Then from the 22nd to the 24th of August, there will be a 3-day congress with plenty of workshops, speakers, testimonies and discussions, which is also one of the reasons why, unfortunately, the U2000 annual summer retreat has been cancelled this year, because U2000 have been asked to do one of the workshops, to hold one of the stands there for the entire celebration of World Meeting of Families. Then on Saturday, the 25th of August, we have a Festival of Families, which comprises a reflective concert-style event with a prayerful and joyful atmosphere. And then, of course, on the Sunday, the 26th of August, there will be the closing with a solemn Eucharistic celebration. So in anticipation of all of that, the wonderful parish of Newcastle West, from which I hail, I must put up my hand there, are preparing for the World Meeting of Families by holding a special Mass. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Mariah?
So we decided to hold a family theme Mass in celebration for family. We didn't want to miss the opportunity that this world event was going to be on our own country. We wanted to bring a little piece in preparation, get families prepared, let families even know it's on. Sometimes people don't even know these world events to be on. So we decided to sit down together, pick the Saturday the 6:30, August the 11th in our own Newcastle West Church. We're going to have symbols, we have a bit of music organised, lively music, actions. Something people will go away with a smile. That was the whole idea of it. But I suppose we kind of wanted to meet the families in our own parish. There's going to be tea and coffee afterwards. Can't go wrong with tea after for the chat. So we want to meet families. We want to see, can we get a little youth ministry group going? That's kind of the plan. So just for having the Mass, but it's going to roll on to something. So it won't just be over. We are going to continue doing something.
Oh, that's wonderful, Maria. And of course, Kathleen and yourself have done a little training in youth ministry, haven't you guys?
Yes, Lorraine, we have. Yeah, and totally enjoy the whole experience of it. It was a great learning experience, a great sharing experience, and we hope we learned in the language of the young people as well, to put it together, and we hope to do bring it to our parish and get a lot more people involved, and help us, and it will be ongoing.
Ah, that's wonderful. I remember being at a meeting once where, the slightly older people were saying, the young people are the future of the church. And I distinctly remember a young person standing up and going, we are not the future of the church. We are the church. From the moment you're baptised, you're a member of the church. So we have to do our outreach and our welcome for everybody of every age group, which is why a family event is such a wonderful event, because
you have all the age groups.
You have all the age groups, exactly.
Yeah. Tell me, what do you think the World Meeting of Families means to young people these days?
I think for young people, as myself being a young person, it's a world event. I was at Poland for the youth festival a couple of years ago, and you're in a small little town, and you're just surrounded by people from so many different countries, your own age, going the same path, same struggles, same, wanting to actually live the faith. So by bringing this World Meeting of Families to Ireland, at least families can get that bit of what I had, feel that they're not just the only family that's trying to live the Catholic life, that there is thousands, there's wonderful families across the globe. I've met them through U2000, I've met families from England, and I've met families from different parts, and it's just to know as well that Ireland is such a small country, but yet we're very large as well. We have a lot of families, and Ireland is a family country. We can't debate that. But I suppose for young people, just to have that sense that I can actually have my family with me, that they're not going to just a youth event, and they're not just going to a young person event. They can bring their family, experience it with their family, and be able to go home then and sit around the table and speak about it with their family. That's kind of what I feel the young people that I've been talking to are looking forward to, is the after as well, sitting down talking about it.
And do you ladies think that it'll be of any benefits maybe to families in local parishes? Yourself, do you think that we might be able to learn something even from listening to other people's problems, joys, whatever it might be?
I think just understanding that families, that they're not just on their own, that's a big thing. A lot of families think, okay, we're going to go to Mass now and we'll come home, and then the week will fly by and we go to Mass again. But that they want to live the life. But like knowing that there's other families out there that want to do the very same as you. They could be in a different country, but they'd be sitting next to you above in Dublin that weekend, and to just start that conversation and to be able to bring that home is so important.
I think that conversation started even with the parish conversations, and we played some of them in the programme here for the last few weeks. And what I liked about that, it came people from various backgrounds now. There was people who were gay, there were people who were disabled, there were people who were retired, there were people who were widowed, all sorts of people with all sorts of problems. But it really brought it home to me that they are part of families too. There's no such thing as a perfect family.
No, there
and
isn't.
That's so important. And I think hopefully that's what the World Meeting of Families might just bring out a little bit more to ourselves.
Exactly.
It's not just about being up there and being perfect and having all the right ticks.
Exactly. Every family is their own shape, their own size, the amount of kids, grandparents and everything. You forget that sometimes family isn't blood related as well. You have family when you go to work. You have your work family. When you're volunteering, for example, I'm in the Red Cross, so that's my family when I'm training or when I go. So you have to remember as well, just because it's a world meeting of families, and family is so important as well. It's your roots at the end of the day. But what you learn in your family at home, you take to your other families.
Yeah, very much so.
So you're able to bring that family love into everything else that you do.
And you speak an awful lot of there. The word connection keeps on going through my mind there when you're speaking like that. And maybe that little bit of connection with families, maybe we've lost a little bit now, have we? Young people seem to be busy, and I'm not blaming on young people now because people of my own age are the same thing. But that little connection of family isn't as strong now as what it was.
We need to bring a sense of calm into the storm. Like modern families, it's uproar some days. You see people flying out the door with their school bags or with their gear bags, and trying to bring a sense of calm that they can find a place to go to as a family and all speak with families. And that's why I think having the event in Ireland is needed, especially with the year.
Where did the idea come up about having something in Newcastle West?
The event, I suppose, myself and Kathleen and Seamus Leahy as well will be helping us as well. We did the youth ministry course, and we felt we still had that passion and power to do something, and we couldn't let this opportunity pass. This is a world event. I've said it I don't know how many times on the radio already, and we need to prepare for it. You can't just expect to go up, and I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen. When I went to Krakow, you think, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but it was totally different. You go, and Lorraine, you can say the same. You go with a certain idea. You come home, your mind is blown with ideas. So I suppose from us, from the youth ministry, we wanted, as Kathleen said as well, we learnt this to speak with young people on their language. But I suppose you see, family, you have a certain communication level with families as well. Yeah. So we're trying to incorporate the whole thing for the month that's in it.
What's going to happen on Saturday night? Or Saturday? It's a 6:30 Mass, I believe, in Newcastle West, isn't it? Okay, so tell me what happens. What's planned?
Well, we'll start with the music. We have lovely music from our young people, and we will go from there into we'll have symbols. Now there'll be a symbol for family.
Okay.
And family consists of as you said, all shapes and sizes, and extended family as well.
Oh, good. Okay.
You're talking about grandparents, you're talking about extended family where volunteers are concerned.
Yeah.
You're extending yourself out to the whole community.
Okay,
And
good.
those symbols will show all of that. And then, as I said, we go into our Mass and we will have the Liturgy of the Word, and we'll have, we'll say, families involved in that. Brothers and sisters, moms
Lovely.
and dads.
Lovely.
You know, and you go to the prayers of the faithful, and we'll incorporate families into that.
And then, I mean, as you continue on, then no doubt you'll have people sharing maybe little reflections, maybe sometimes towards.
Yeah, so we have a short kind of reflection put together just on family,
Okay.
just so that after communion people understand the whole theme of the Mass, you know, because you can go through Mass sometimes saying, oh, that was lovely, but what was the theme? So we've sat down and we've come up with a little reflection, but we can't forget, because we're going to have actions as well for the song, so the young people will be going up on the altar, you know, and you need that sense of fun and that sense of liveliness, because it is in families nowadays, you know, they go to events and stuff together and they have the smile and the fun and the dance, so we're going to incorporate that as well.
That's a typical Mariah. I can imagine having up there.
Do you know what strikes me about the whole thing from the moment the lady started talking is that theme of joy that's permeating everything. And I think that comes back to your question earlier, John, of have we lost a little of the connection with family? I think we have, because we tend to look at religion or look at spirituality or look at prayers. It's Sunday morning and I have to go to Mass, rather than bouncing out of bed and going, it's Sunday morning. We get to celebrate as a family. And I suppose that's one of the big themes of the Mass that you'll be highlighting through all the various means, like the music and the prayers and the reflections and the involvement of people, is that the Mass is a celebration of family. It's a community of love.
Exactly.
And that's the sort of joy that we want to bring back to people again.
Yep.
What would you hope might come out of this, or stay with the people of Newcastle West because of this, because of initiating this?
Well, my main aim personally is to see people go home with a smile. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Is to come in and feel welcomed and feel like this is now it's going to be real joyful and uplifting, and they're going to take something home. But as well, we want to connect with the families. We want to be able to see, for example, if there's a person like a parent or a grandparent that feels like, oh, I'd like to get involved in something, they wouldn't be afraid to come and ask us, what can I get involved with?
Yeah.
What are their passions? What do they like doing? Just opening up that forum that they're not afraid to come and ask. Or for young people, say, oh, I like drawing, so maybe we could ask them to do posters every now and again or something like that. Or, you know, there might be someone who says, oh, I'd love to read, but I'm very nervous. So work around with them and set up a little group and keep that alive. Just, we'll say, for, I know a lot of young people my age as well, they come home from Lourdes and be like, oh, I want to bring Lourdes home with me, but unfortunately we can't, or Medjugorje, we can't bring that home. So what we want to do is just bring that little bit of light and have meetings once a month or something after this with families, with young people, just to keep that communication, that joy open in the parish.
I think the way you've expressed yourself this morning, girls, you know, I think people out there would be jumping at the opportunity of maybe coming to Newcastle West. Will you have enough seats there on 6:30 Mass? And
it's a big church, John. We'll make room. And
if I have my way, everyone will be up dancing. Fingers crossed. But John, I just hope you don't mind that if there is anyone out there listening, anybody with kids, anybody family-wise, parents, grandparents, uncles or aunts that want to get involved in this Mass, because we have a few more days. So if they are interested, do you mind if they email the show? And then you can get forwarded on to myself or Kathleen or Seamus.
If they would have made us during the week, or
exactly, and we'll
email.
get
That's sacredspace102@gmail.com. That's sacredspace102@gmail.com. By all means.
And of course, if you're sitting at home and you're going, oh gosh, I could never do anything like that, you can always pray for family. And you can always spread the good news by doing little things. You know, if you're a parent at home, or if you're a grandparent and you have younger children and they're not entirely sure about church or whatever, if you want, just show them the parts of the Mass and the Missal. Or whisper very, very softly, do you know why the priest is doing? See what the priest is? He's adding the little drop of water into the, or whatever it might be, and just explain the little parts of the Mass to them. Or on a quieter day, take them into the church and show them the beautiful different parts of the church and why they're there. Or take them into the crying chapel if there is a crying chapel. We have a beautifully, wonderfully painted crying chapel in Newcastle West Church, which was painted by Keith O'Reilly, very talented painter, and just explain the different parts of the Bible story to them. Or at Christmas time, take them to the crib, or when you go somewhere on pilgrimage, take them to the local shrine, or whatever it might be. There's loads of different ways of passing on the faith with joy to people.
I think the thing that's very important too, and here in Sacred Space we try to stress it, is not to forget those people, our listeners who are at home, on their own, maybe lonely. Those people who are also member of families. Those people who might have lost partners in life. Those people who might be sick and ill. And those people who might sort of feel out maybe a little bit these days on what's happening with the world meeting the families. The only thing I can say to you is that you're definitely in the prayers and thoughts all the time here in Sacred Space. But I'd say Newcastle West and every other parish, there'll be a special thought for you this year, I think. I think that's important.
Absolutely. And can I also mention, because I know it's not talked of very often, to those of you who are trying desperately to have a family, and for whatever reason God hasn't blessed you in that particular regard, we know that this is a particularly hard time for you to be listening to the radio or to be hearing a lot about family, because unfortunately it still tends to be a very private affair and people don't talk about it too much. But know that you're in our prayers and that we are wishing you all the best as well.
And so, a final reminder again, Saturday night next.
So Saturday, August the 11th at the 6:30 p.m. Mass in Newcastle West.
Bring the dancing shoes?
Please, yes. Okay. I'll have mine.
Do I have to bring my own seat with me, or will there be sufficient room in there?
I'll always find a seat for you, John.
Oh, this is good. Ladies, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, John.
At this stage now, we'll go for a second bit of music, and this is one specifically asked by yourself.
Yes.
It's one that yourself and I know members of your family love it. It's entitled Sowing Good Seeds.
Yes,
really appropriate.
exactly.
And this is by Mavis Staples. So let's hear this.
Sow good seeds, everybody. Sow good seeds, everybody. On the mountain, down in the valley, you're gonna reap just what you sow. Sow by walking, sow by talking, sow by everything you do. Don't mind no one. Keep on sowing, you're gonna reap just what you sow. Sow good seeds, everybody. Sow good seeds, everybody. On the mountain, down in the valley, you're gonna reap just what you sow. Hark the voice of Jesus calling. Who will come and wake the dead? Tunes of mercy, harvest waiting. Here am I, oh Lord, send me. They'll talk about you. They'll vilify you. Call you everything except the child of God. They don't mind them no mind what they're saying. What they're saying. They're gonna read just what they sow. What they sow. Sow good seeds. Sow good seeds. Everybody. Sow good seeds. Everybody. On the mountain. In the valley. What you sow, what you sow. Sow good seeds. Sow good seeds. Everybody. Sow good seeds. Sow good seeds. Everybody. On the mountain, the valley. You're gonna reap just what you sow. What you sow.
Sacred Space.